What is going on, everybody? Taylor here, and we're attempting our first live stream today.
This is all right. That's on that.
It's going well already. We have echoes everywhere. It's great. I don't know.
It's gone now.
It's gone now. All right, cool.
That was funny.
We're figuring this out, man. We got some special guests here to suffer through it with us today while we get all these technical glitches out. How we doing? We ready?
Yeah, I'm very pumped for the show, but usually you get to edit around our mishaps.
I know.
And now there's
People are going to get to see it today.
the reins are off.
All right.
Jacob's attempting, and this is going to be a real disaster, I think.
I can't wait.
Basically, this is you guys getting to see Jacob figuring out how our studio actually works. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, this has been a hell of a decade for movies, and we want to hear from you guys while we're making our lists here. We want you guys to comment about what your favorite movies of the decade have been. We want you to chime in on the categories that we're talking about as they come up. It's going to be a time. It's going to be... We've got a lot to dive into.
We do.
So
we have a really
we're
long show.
we're going to start with the biggest possible award that there is and work our way down.
Yep.
Best Picture, you guys. So we chose to do 10 nominations each for this category. And Jacob, I'm going to let you kick this one off.
All right.
To get us started.
So here are my 10. These are my 10 nominees for Best Picture. These are the 10 films, not necessarily that I think are the 10 best films of the decade, but they're what I believe deserve to be considered the Best Picture. Number 1, The Social Network. Number 2, Arrival. Number 3, Mad Max Fury Road. Number 4, Spotlight. Number 5, The Shape of Water. Number 6, Rush. Number 7, How to Train Your Dragon. Number 8, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Number 9, 1917. Number 10, Black Klansman.
You got quite a fun list there.
Yeah.
What was your thought process into making this list?
I kind of wanted to be a little bit more, I wanted to kind of share the love. So it wasn't one that I was like, okay, just pick your absolute favorites, because there are films that I probably would go, no, I actually like that film a bit more, but this one is worthy of the Best Picture. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I completely get that. My list is, I had a hard time with my list because my list is definitely filled with films that the Academy has acknowledged in some big ways. And this is just kind of what I came up with. So mine is not in any particular order. Arrival, La La Land, Mad Max Fury Road, The Wolf of Wall Street, Blade Runner 2049, Black Klansman, Get Out, The Big Short, The Social Network, and 1917.
Nice.
Very good list.
It was tough because, like we've said, this has been a big decade for movies, and there was so much to choose from in terms of what the Academy has acknowledged and what they haven't, things that have been left out. And I kind of wanted to put together a list that I feel like had the whole package in terms of technical achievements, in terms of acting, in terms of just kind of the films that have stuck out the most as blowing me away for some big reasons.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the list that I ended up with.
No.
What do you got over there?
Well, mine's very similar. It's sort of like things that definitely are technically fantastic, things that are Best Picture, but I always, especially when it comes to best list, go heart picks. So I've got a good mixture of heart picks in there as well. So mine's, again, no particular order. Warrior, The Social Network, Mad Max Fury Road, Call Me By Your Name, Hereditary, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Whiplash, Ex Machina, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, very interesting pick.
It's a very diverse list.
just a little bit.
That's the best thing about a show like this, though, is really getting to just hear so many different picks because we can't all fit stuff into our 10 picks on our own.
10 was the toughest part. There's so many more movies that I wanted from there.
What about you, Richard?
Well, my 10 nominees doesn't exactly match my top 10 of the decade, but there are 2 or 3 titles in this list of nominees that I'm glad this movie was made. I think people need to see this, and this movie is going to stand the test of time. So my 10 are Mad Max Fury Road, The Social Network, The Wolf of Wall Street, 12 Years a Slave, Parasite, Whiplash, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Spotlight, Inception, and Dunkirk.
Wow.
The double Nolan.
I find it. I actually do find it a little interesting that I'm the only one that has Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Considering my opinions on Del Toro.
Well, fear not. Shape
will
of
get-
Water
okay.
appears several times on other
Shape of Water
lists
pops up again
for me. Yes.
Kathy in the chat has said It Chapter 2 is one that she would put on there. So thanks, guys, for letting us know what films you would be putting on there.
Look, I think that them deciding to retackle it in a movie universe has been really interesting for cinema in a lot of ways, because we're kind of getting to that point where people are really wanting new things in the horror genre and really wanting it to be elevated to a place that gets a bit more appreciated, because we had my favorite example is just people still just rage quitting because Toni Collette didn't get her nominations for Hereditary.
I'm absolutely
and it's
100%
just-
one of those people.
I mean, it is I think it's an important thing that hopefully this decade now, like this next decade of film, we'll get to see a little bit more of.
It's a big reason why Hereditary made my top 10 list, because I think what it has done for, even though it only came out in last year, it seemed to be the start of something new for horror, which is exciting for me as a horror fan. And it's a great movie.
Oh, absolutely. All right. We are going to move on to Best Director.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay, so my 5 for Best Director is Sam Mendes for 1917, Spike Lee for Black Klansman, David Fincher for The Social Network, George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, and Denis Villeneuve for Arrival.
Yep.
Ooh,
Nice.
Very nice. I've got Jordan Peele for Get Out. I've got The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. I told you it would be there. I've got George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, Wes Anderson for The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Scorsese for The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, interesting.
Fincher for The Social Network, because I think we're going to hear that a lot today. George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road. I think we're going to hear that a lot today. Wes Anderson for The Grand Budapest Hotel, Sam Mendes 1917, and Damien Chazelle for Whiplash.
Oh, interesting.
So,
We've heard a lot of Whiplash love already.
I love him, Whiplash.
terrific film. My tempo. George Miller, Mad Max Fury Road. Fincher for The Social Network 2. Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. And Bong Joon-ho for Parasite.
I'm the only one that didn't have Fincher on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just not a big fan of Social Network. I'm kidding.
I really like The Social Network a lot, but it didn't have as big of an impact on me as it did for a lot of other people. Like, I think it's a brilliant movie, but when I looked at my list of directors, it wasn't even one that I was trying to debate fitting in there. Like, I had other people missing out before him.
Yeah.
But this is why this is fun, because clearly I'm wrong here. All right.
Someone in the chat, Manny in the chat mentioned Olivia Wilde for Booksmart.
I mean,
Good call.
Yep.
I would agree. I tried to not let recency bias play a big part into my list, because we did just have 2019. And there were so many good movies in 2019, especially at the end of the year. But Booksmart did stick with me the whole year. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a great directorial debut for Olivia Wilde for a lot of reasons. But I tried really hard not to make this a 2019 heavy list, just because, I mean, there's a lot of tough decisions that went into making these lists. That's for sure. All right, we're getting into the acting categories now, and this is where it's about to get. I feel like this is where it's about to get real interesting.
This is where it started to hurt a little bit. All right,
definitely. All right.
Okay, best actor. I've got Colin Firth for The King's Speech, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Denzel Washington for Fences, and Andy Serkis for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Love it. I love that choice. All right,
Give him an Oscar.
I've got Leonardo DiCaprio for Wolf of Wall Street. I've got Hugh Jackman for Les Mis, but honestly, it's for like everything he's ever done in his life. I've got James McAvoy for Split. I've got Adam Driver for Marriage Story. And then I've got Brad Pitt for Ad Astra.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, okay.
That's a very interesting
I like
pick.
that
I
one.
like it. Yeah. All right, Nick, what do you got?
My boy, or our boy, Leo for The Wolf of Wall Street. Our boy. Timothy Chalamet, Call Me by Your Name. Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. Joaquin Phoenix in The Master and Daniel Day-Lewis in Lincoln.
Okay.
I've got Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street, Timothy Chalamet, Call Me by Your Name, Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler,
That's great.
Joaquin Phoenix, The Master,
No,
and Jesse
Ah,
Eisenberg for The Social Network.
so close.
Interesting.
Wow.
Oh my God, that was great.
Okay,
That's so
so
good.
Eisenberg is really good in Social Network. He was never the draw card for me with that film. It was
Which is so interesting because he
Yeah.
was so good, but I think he did his job so well where he
Yeah.
wasn't like
He-
distracting from the movie.
No, it wasn't
was,
a big performance.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
Mark
it's-
Zuckerberg.
very subdued, very quiet, and I think also the fact that Garfield steals that movie, like
Yeah.
completely. Kind
our
of
boy
takes it-
Eduardo.
Yeah. Interesting that. So just real quick, we all had Leo.
We did
for the
for the
movie-
same movie.
Yeah, for the same movie that he didn't win his Oscar for.
we all know that he got it the next year because he
He
should have
won.
won it that year.
He
We
won
all,
the Oscar.
we
for
all
that.
know that
Yeah,
it's definitely
like,
for that.
You don't just eat raw liver and win an Oscar. You do some other stuff to earn that.
Oh God!
All right,
all right.
yeah.
Best
But-
actress.
Okay. I have, of course, Amy Adams for Arrival, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Brie
She's so
Larson
good.
for Room, Natalie Portman for Black Swan, and the fifth pick was tough for me, but I went with Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl.
Ooh, it's so
Yes.
good. All right, I've got Amy Adams for Arrival.
Mhm.
Got Saoirse Ronan for Little Women.
Ooh, nice.
I've got Natalie Portman for Black Swan. Brie Larson for Room, and Lupita Nyong'o for Us.
I
Oh,
thought Us might
interesting.
make your list.
Actually.
Yeah. I have also got Natalie Portman for Black Swan, Toni Collette for Hereditary, Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl, Brie Larson for Room, and Jennifer Lawrence for The Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, I was tossing up
Yeah.
between that one. It was her or Gone Girl, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I gotta give it to Gone Girl because she made that
So
movie.
good. in that
We
movie.
just had someone ask, just tuned in, are these decade picks? Yes, they are. These are our decade picks of the year. Someone mentioned Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
We'll
we
get
got Margot Robbie for Bombshell. We're getting all kinds of
Yes.
people just chiming in. This is great.
Yeah.
Keep it coming,
there.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have, or have you been?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I have Jennifer Lawrence for Silver Linings Playbook. I love that performance, no matter what people said. Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl. She was the star of that film. Saoirse Ronan for Brooklyn.
Oh,
Good call.
Brie Larson for Room. And our 2013 Best Actress winner, Kate Blanchett in Blue Jasmine.
Yeah, that was one I was struggling to not put in there.
Yeah, Blue Jasmine's again, and I will get into this later. Blue Jasmine's a tough one just because of the everything surrounding that movie,
Yes.
and there's quite a few things here where you're like, there's a lot surrounding that movie. Where
Yeah.
Did we all have Natalie Portman?
I think
I didn't.
No.
You
Okay.
did-
Did we
didn't.
all have Brie Larson? Did we all have
Yes.
anyone the
think
same?
we all
Brie
had
Larson?
Brie
Rosamund?
Larson.
I didn't have Rosamund.
But Brie.
I have Brie.
Yeah.
All right,
so
we all had Brie. Yep. Okay.
And,
Interesting.
that's telling that there's more than one Saoirse Ronan performance
Oh,
here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, incredible. All right, supporting actress.
Oh,
All right, this one was tough.
this was a tough
Oh,
category.
All right.
Yeah, this is not easy.
Okay, Alison Janney for I, Tonya, Viola Davis for Fences, Octavia Spencer for The Help, Alicia Vikander for Ex Machina, and Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, that's a good
Alright,
one.
it is
Yeah,
a good
that's a real
one.
good one.
I've got Alicia Vikander for Ex Machina because we all know she won for that movie. I have Alison Janney for I, Tonya. I have Margot Robbie for Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I've got Charlize Theron for Mad Max Fury
Yeah,
Road.
a good call.
And I've got Teresa Palmer for Hacksaw Ridge.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, give some Aussie love.
Yep.
Yes. Alicia Vikander for Ex Machina, Viola Davis for Fences, Olivia Colman, The Favorite,
Oh, so good.
Jackie Weaver in Animal Kingdom, and Alison Janney for I, Tonya.
Yeah, that's such a great performance.
Such a great performance.
I've got Lupita Nyong'o, 12 Years a Slave, Viola Davis in Fences, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird,
Yes.
Mm.
Rooney Mara for Carol, and Jackie Weaver for Animal
Animal.
Kingdom.
Interesting. Okay, very very interesting picks. We don't think we all had any. You didn't have Alicia, did you?
No.
No. So yeah, none of us had
A
all the
similar
same.
pick,
All
yeah.
right.
All right.
All right. Best supporting
Oh, God.
actor.
I'm not ready.
All right, let's move on.
All right, who you got?
Andrew Garfield for The Social
I'm
Network, the award he
shocked.
should have won.
God damn it.
I know. I'm giving him that damn Oscar. All right, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight,
Yes.
Patrick Stewart for Logan, J.K. Simmons for Whiplash, and Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Yes.
I've got Andrew Garfield for The Social Network, J.K. Simmons for Whiplash. I've got Michael Shannon for The Shape of Water. I've got Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? And Russell Hornsby for The Hate You Give.
I was tossing up. I was like, no, I've got my favorite pick, and yeah.
Dude, this category's stacked. I have J.K. Simmons for Whiplash.
J.K. Swimmins.
J.K.
Yep.
Swimmins in that Whiplash. Nick Nolte for Warrior. Mahershala Ali in Moonlight. Philip Seymour Hoffman in The Master. And Christian Bale in The Fighter.
Oh, interesting pick.
God damn it, Nick. I have, by the way, I love the Richard E. Grant love,
Yes.
but I don't have him. I have J.K. Simmons for Whiplash, Christian Bale for The Fighter, Philip Seymour Hoffman for The Master.
Nice.
And my other two are Tom Hardy for The Revenant and Aaron Taylor Johnson for Nocturnal Animals.
That was a good
That is a good pick.
That's good pick. Good pick. All
I
right.
think I'm starting to think you guys just like furiously texted each other going, what do we put on these
We're
lists?
just like, it's like we got to change some of us. The teacher doesn't know.
All right, best original screenplay.
All right. I've got The Shape of Water,
Hmm.
Her, Spotlight, Get Out, and Marriage Story.
Oh, all right. I've got Hell or High Water, Taylor Sheridan, The Lobster, that Yorgos Lanthimos
Yes.
stuff. Oh, I love that movie so much. It's so
Yes.
weird. The Big Sick, La La Land, and Ex Machina.
Oh, very good.
I have Her, Spike Jonze. Inception, Christopher Nolan. Nightcrawler, Dan Gilroy. The Shape of Water, Del Toro and Vanessa Taylor. And La La Land, Damien Chazelle.
Okay.
I too, Taylor, have a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, but it's not The Lobster. It's The Favorite. I'll have Inside Out from Pixar, Spotlight, Her, and Inception.
Oh, very good picks.
We had some pretty jumbled
good-
lists there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We didn't really
there's
have
not
much
anything
overlap.
That's,
No.
yeah, really
That's
Is it
overlap.
Her?
Three
Her,
of us
I've
had
got her.
Her,
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. My next pick for adapted screenplay. Number one, The Social Network.
I am shocked.
I know. Number two, Arrival.
Also shocked.
Number three, Black Klansman.
Mm.
You might actually be a little shocked by that. Argo and Moneyball.
Nice.
Nice.
Double socks.
I've got Logan, Moneyball, The Big Short, Can You Ever Forgive Me, and The Martian.
Oh, I wanted to
Oh,
put
good
Marshall on
call.
this so badly.
The Social Network, Aaron Sorkin. The Wolf of Wall Street, Terrence Winter. The Big Short, Adam McKay and Charles Randolph. Call Me By Your Name, James Ivory. And Moneyball for that two-time Aaron Sorkin.
Mm.
The Social Network, Aaron Sorkin. The Wolf of Wall Street, Terrence Winter. Whiplash, Damien Chazelle. Moonlight, Barry Jenkins and Alvin McCraney. And 127 Hours by Danny Boyle and Simon
Interesting. Interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry, these comments are great. Alex said, yeah, J.K. Simmons, I'm a jazz musician and happy to report that doesn't happen in normal conservatory.
What? I thought it was based on a true story. Sorry.
Oh, man.
All right.
That's awesome.
Moving on to Best Animated Feature.
Ooh, I love this
I'm
category
so
much.
curious
I was
about this.
so happy writing these picks
know.
down.
Yeah.
I'm
Here we
left out
go.
so many popular picks.
I'm
Yeah.
mine. This was tough. All right. Number one, How to Train Your Dragon. Number two, Toy Story 3. Number three, I have Moana. Number four, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And number five, I have Klaus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Class
Okay.
Klaus made it.
All right. I've got How to Train Your Dragon, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Tangled.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
shocked that Tangled made that list.
I will still never forgive the Academy for not nominating that movie as an
That's pretty
animated.
rough, hey?
Yeah.
Tangled, I think, was nominated.
It was not.
No.
It only got Best
song.
Original Song
Ah.
nomination.
That's right.
Yeah, and I will never forgive Academy if you're listening. I will never forgive you for that.
Because
that was back when it was only 3 nominations. I'm pretty sure.
For
That's why it
animated
missed
Apparently,
out.
the
Yeah.
animation branch was voting at the time.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, Nick, what you got?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Toy Story 3, How to Train Your Dragon, The Lego Movie, and Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, I wanted to put Kubo on so badly.
Kubo, love Kubo.
Well, I've got one that neither of you have mentioned, and that is Charlie Kaufman's Anomalisa.
That was close. That was close.
The Lego Movie, Inside Out, Toy Story 3, and Moana.
Wow.
Okay.
We had someone mention Frozen
Yeah.
Yeah, that
in the
makes sense.
chat. I think that How to Train Your Dragon 2 is one of the most underrated animated movies of the last decade.
I agree.
We had someone mention Coco.
Oh, Coco's so good. Coco just missed out.
Coco
Like,
pops up later on for me somewhere.
Ooh,
yeah.
alright.
Nah, it's animated. This decade was incredible for animated films. Like it is.
Yeah, it's
Insane
crazy when
to
you think
about
about it.
because not only did you have Pixar still put like every now and then they have a dud, but they were still
It's
performing
pretty consistent.
to their best, and you had Disney join back up and actually dominate again. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I tried to fit Zootopia and Dragon.
Yeah,
I had to have Dragon in there.
Couldn't-
obviously.
Yeah, me
not
too.
have
That
that
one
Dragon
means too
Dragon,
much
yeah.
to me.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to this was the category that I didn't really have enough picks for, and that is best foreign language film.
Ooh.
I've got Cold War, Pain and Glory, Parasite, A Separation, and Roma.
Yep.
I mean, we're pretty much going to have similar lists here. I think Pain and Glory, Roma, Parasite, Cold War, and The Salesman.
I have The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen. So good. Parasite, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Monos, and Son of Saul.
Okay.
I have Parasite, Roma, Tony Erdmann, Pain and Glory, and A Separation.
Okay.
Yeah, Separation's good.
Yeah.
I don't watch as many foreign language films as I'd like to
Yeah.
because I love them. But just these past 2 years, we've had
It's
some pretty fantastic
been
ones.
incredible.
In the mainstream too, like the
Yeah.
way they're getting theatrical releases, which is awesome. So
and that's the hard part. It's really, really difficult to go see them.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to best documentary feature. This was not as hard as I thought it would be. Okay, number 1, Inside Job. Number 2, Free Solo. Number 3, Won't You Be My Neighbor. Number 4, Icarus. And number 5, OJ Made in America.
Oh, damn.
I've got Free Solo, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Minding the Gap, RBG, and OJ Made in America.
Okay.
But mine is looking at this category made me sad because it still just kills me that Won't You Be My Neighbor didn't actually
I
get
know.
anything
I-
from the
Yeah,
Academy.
I know.
I know.
That documentary destroyed me.
Such a good doco.
And Free Solo
Oh,
is
yeah.
the most tense I've ever been, I think, in
In
a
a mo-
documentary
Oh,
in my
oh
life.
man.
So good.
Speaking of it, Free Solo is on my list for best doco. So Free Solo, Minding the Gap, The Act of Killing, Restrepo, and Amy.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I have Amy. What is it? Oh, Amy, Blackfish, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Life Itself, the Roger Ebert documentary, and from 2016, I have 8 Days a Week, The Touring Years, The Beatles.
Yes.
Oh,
That's an awesome doc. I can't let him put that on there.
yeah,
It's actually so
I
good.
forgot about the life itself. I'm really annoyed about
Yeah,
myself
Life
now.
Itself
That,
is
yeah,
good
that,
as well.
Blackfish
really good.
is a tough documentary
Oh,
to sit through.
Blackfish is rough.
It's
Oh.
real rough.
It's
My girlfriend-
it's frustrating.
Yeah,
My
it
girlfriend
is.
watched it back to back, like finished it and then watched it again, but she was
How?
in tears. And I was like, don't put yourself through
You're
it
like,
again.
why are you
I need
doing
to."
this?
She's like, I need to know how bad SeaWorld is.
All right. All right. Now we're getting on to more of the technical awards.
Yeah.
I actually this is where I had fun because
Yeah,
it
me
was
too.
you
It was less stressful and
Yeah,
more
less
just
stressful.
all right. Best original score in shocking no one. The Social Network, Mad Max Fury Road, Inception, Blade Runner 2049, and The Shape of Water.
Nice.
I have How to Train Your Dragon, La La
Nice.
Land, The Shape of Water, Sicario, and The Force Awakens.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have La La Land, The Social Network, Inception, Sicario, and The Shape of Water.
Interesting.
I have La La Land, Inception, The Social Network, Mad Max Fury Road, and Nocturnal Animals.
Oh, that is a good score. Actually, that's
Yeah.
a real good score.
All right, guys. Make sure you let us know what scores or songs you really like. Like, just keep letting us know. We will definitely read them out. All right.
Because there's been a lot of good scores
it's
over
been-
this
yeah,
decade that do not fit
absolutely.
into these lists.
Yeah. All right. Next one we're moving on to best original song.
Also a really tough one because there's
yeah.
been so many good ones.
Yeah, so I started number 1, Skyfall from Skyfall. Number 2,
Really?
yeah, shocking there. Number 2, Let It Go from Frozen. Shut up! Stop looking at me like that.
I will not look at you.
I can sense it.
I'm so sorry.
Number 3, I picked Maybe It's Time from A Star Is Born because I think that is the best song in that movie. And
That's a good call. That's a good call.
I like Shallow is really good.
Yeah.
But Maybe It's Time is just more, I think, more heartbreaking. All the Stars from Black Panther and A Lovely Night from La La Land.
I've got I See the Light from Tangled, Audition from La La Land, The Greatest Show from The Greatest Showman, Always Remember Us This Way from
Okay.
A Star Is Born, and Revelation from Boy Erased.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. That's a good song for that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Skyfall from Skyfall. I'm going to say this one last, actually. I have City of Stars from La La Land, Remember Me from Coco, and I have Shallow from A Star Is Born. And the most underrated best original song ever written ever, Man or Muppet from the Muppets.
I was so close.
Love.
I was so close to adding that.
Okay, the Muppets movie is so underratedly
It is.
hilarious. Like, it is so good. And that song, I was in stitches when I saw that in the cinema. It's so funny.
It is so funny. And I was so close to adding that to my list. I was like, oh, no.
Someone
behave.
just mentioned a song that just missed out on my list, which is Drive It Like You Stole It from Sing Street.
Yes.
It was so close to being on my list.
Sing Street's so good.
I was so angry that didn't get any Academy Awards.
It got
I haven't
nothing.
It got nothing.
I have not
So
seen
good.
Muppets movie, but I'm glad one half of the Flight of Conchords has an Oscar.
I know, right?
That's a big part of the reason.
Super important, guys.
Well, I too have Skyfall from Skyfall. I have Another Day of Sun by La La Land.
Yeah.
How Far I'll Go, Moana. Glory from Selma. And Shallow from A Star Is Born.
I think
Nice.
it's really, really interesting that we all have different songs from
Yeah.
La La
Yes,
Land.
I
Just shows
agree.
you how great
I agree.
And
that
same
entire
with Star Is Born.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
We've all
Yeah.
got different songs from
That's-
Star Is
that's
Born.
I
really
always
interesting.
find myself whistling City of Stars because I say whistle it in the movie. So I'm just
Yeah.
like always walking. So I'm like, that's definitely part of the reason I picked it.
We got a comment about the scores for Inside Out, Creed, and the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
Grand Budapest just missed out.
Yeah. Someone mentioned Under the Skin.
Oh, yeah.
That's a creepy score.
That's a good score.
And Alec mentioned Ludwig crushed it with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to the ones that confuse the hell out of every single person who is not in this crowd.
I had to Google it. I'm not gonna lie.
You're even in this crowd and you had to Google it. Jesus.
Well, to be fair, half the time the Academy doesn't seem to know what it means either.
I
so.
mean, yeah. Okay, so I've done best sound editing. I have Inception, Mad Max Fury Road, Rush, 1917, and Blade Runner 2049.
I've got A Quiet Place, Arrival, The Martian, Sicario, and Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh. I have Mad Max Fury Road, Dunkirk, First Man, Blade Runner 2049, and possibly the most overrated movie ever made, Baby Driver. I just want to be controversial right now. I
Okay,
hated
yeah.
Baby Driver. So,
All right.
but it was very well sound mixed.
Okay.
Wait, were we
promise.
just doing sound editing or sound
sound
mixing?
editing. That was sound editing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, who cares? I don't know what they mean.
Because my two categories are very different for those two things. So I just want to make sure.
Mine are not. Mine are very
Mine
similar.
are definitely very different because they're very different things.
That is fair.
Okay.
That is fair.
Just making
All right.
sure.
I have Mad Max Fury Road, Drive, Arrival, Dunkirk, and Gravity.
Okay, so we all had Mad Max.
Yes.
That's
I think that
Shocking
makes sense.
nobody.
yeah. I mean, Mad Max is incredible.
All right.
All right,
Sound mixing.
sound mixing. I have Inception, Mad Max Fury Road, 1917, Blade Runner 2049, and Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
Oh.
I have First Man, Blade Runner 2049, Les Mis, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Baby Driver.
Oh, interesting.
I have Les Mis, Mad Max Fury Road, Dunkirk, Blade Runner 2049, and First Man.
Taylor, Nick, I love you guys because I also have Les Mis.
Okay.
Good movie.
I have Mad Max Fury
It
Road.
doesn't matter if it's
That's
a good
debatable.
movie. It matters if the sound mixing is good.
Yes, I mean recording the songs live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's big
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
reason I did it.
And
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road, Dunkirk, Whiplash, and Baby Driver.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to best production design. This one was tough for me. Number 1, The Shape of Water. Number 2, Inception. Number 3, Blade Runner 2049. Number 4, Star Wars The Last Jedi. And number 5, Mad Max Fury Road.
What's this?
Production design.
I've got The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Favorite, Crimson Peak, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay.
I have The Grand Budapest Hotel, Mad Max Fury Road, The Great Gatsby, Blade Runner 2049, and The Shape of Water.
I have Mad Max Fury Road, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Inception, Her, and 12 Years a Slave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting picks. I do production design. I'm finding it fascinating that Mad Max is just on everyone's list for this stuff.
It's just such a well-made movie.
It's the technical movie of the decade.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny it.
No, it's absolutely there. All right, let's move on to cinematography.
Ugh.
This was the single hardest
It was
category.
so
Well,
hard.
I mean, because you can't write Roger Deakins 5 times. Can
I
you?
know, that's the
that was my
problem.
thing. I was like, no, you picked 2. There is a movie that should be on here that isn't because it was Roger Deakins who did it. And I was like, no, I've already got 2 of his movies on here. I
Gotta
cannot
try and
have-
spread the love. There are other
You're right,
cinematographers
yes,
out there.
yes.
I cannot have 5 of them on here. So
I've got 2 by him.
I do too.
I've
think,
got
yeah.
2. I had to put at least 2.
All right, let's see. Let's
All
see
right.
if we all have the same movies for Roger
right.
Deakins.
1917, The Shape of Water, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, and Mad Max Fury Road.
I've got Inception, Skyfall, Blade Runner 2049, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and La La Land.
I have Roger Deakins for Blade Runner 2049, Bradford Young for Arrival, Jeff Cronenweth for The Social Network, John Seal for Mad Max, and Hoyt van Hoytema for Dunkirk.
I've got Roger Deakins for Blade Runner 2049. I've got Roger Deakins for 1917. I have James Laxton for Moonlight. I have John Seal for Mad Max Fury Road, and Bradford Young for Arrival.
Nice.
All right.
That Blade Runner love.
Yeah, look, Blade Runner deserved it. He deserved his Oscar for Blade Runner. I wanted to put Skyfall in here so badly. Like, Skyfall was the one that missed out, but I was like, okay, it's his 3rd film. I can't put 3 freaking films on here. So, all right, let's just go through the comments real quick.
I'm just gonna say, if you come into this comment section one more time and say The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie of all time, you're gonna get kicked.
And you also haven't seen Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, there's also that. So I'm just telling you right now, don't even go down that road with me.
Alec mentioned Dunkirk, the score for Dunkirk, and The Hateful Eight. Just how incredible those are. Definitely agree. Those are 2 incredible scores from this decade. And he also mentioned that he thought A Star Is Born did the live element mixing better than Les Mis. So,
Yeah, fair
all
enough.
right, let's move on to Best Makeup.
This one was tough just
Yeah.
because the Academy doesn't even really nominate enough.
No.
Like, their nominations for this are kind of laughable,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
whatever.
Which is where I pulled most of my picks from.
Yeah.
So. Hey.
All right. I have gone Mad Max Fury Road, Vice, Guardians of the Galaxy, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and Darkest Hour.
I put Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Trek Beyond, Vice, Les Mis, and Mary Queen of Scots.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, interesting.
I have Mad Max Fury Road, Vice, Guardians of the Galaxy, Darkest Hour, and The Revenant.
I have Cloud Atlas, Mad Max Fury Road, Darkest Hour, Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Revenant.
Nice.
Very interesting picks. All right. Let's move on to Best Costume Design. I've got The Favorite, Mad Max Fury Road, Rocket Man, Avengers Infinity War, and Rush.
Sorry.
Rush.
For costume design,
Yes.
I like that. I like that
Mhm.
choice. I've got The Favorite, Black Panther, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Great Gatsby, and Les Mis.
Interesting.
I have Mad Max Fury Road. Wow, who would have thought that one's coming up again? The Great Gatsby, Alice in Wonderland, Les Mis, and Phantom Thread.
Interesting.
It's a movie
Nice.
about costumes.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
should have
that's
good
fair.
costume design.
I have Mad Max Fury Road, Grand Budapest Hotel, Phantom Thread, The Favorite, and Jackie.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
yeah.
one.
Jackie's a good one.
Yeah,
actually.
that's a
Yeah,
good-
very
that's
good
a good
pick.
pick.
Very good pick. All right. We're only down to the last 2 categories.
I
We have
know.
actually flown
We
through this.
have done so good
I
today,
know.
guys. I'm so proud of us.
We have completely flown through this. This has been amazing. All right. Let's move on to best visual effects. I've got Avengers Infinity War, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, The Jungle Book, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Mad Max Fury Road.
I've got Inception, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Ex Machina, Deathly Hallows Part 2, and Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, good picks.
I have a Blade Runner 2049, Ex Machina, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, The Lion King, and Gravity.
I have Mad Max Fury Road, Inception, Blade Runner 2049, Gravity, and Life of Pi.
Yeah,
that's the one to go to.
Yeah,
usually.
that's fair. I was teetering on Life of Pi. All right. Last category.
Last
guys.
one,
Ooh,
guys.
yeah.
All right. I'm beyond proud of us for doing this, actually. Like, the fact that we did this in less than an hour is somewhat impressive. Okay, let's go to I've got Bohemian Rhapsody. No, I'm kidding.
Wait,
I swear to God.
For film editing.
Film editing.
Oh.
Blech.
Okay, I just had to get that last joke in. Okay, The Social Network, Mad Max Fury Road, Black Klansman, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Argo.
Good calls.
I've got.
Sorry.
Sorry, Nick and I are just laughing over here.
How often I had Social Network?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I've got Black Klansman, Baby Driver, Nick's favorite movie,
Awesome movie.
Hacksaw Ridge, Whiplash, and The Social Network.
And you give me crap.
I'm pretty sure you nominated it for like every category
actually,
except for one.
I actually think if I go through this, I've got Mad Max more than Fury
Probably,
than
yeah.
Social Network.
Probably. Well, I'm about to bite my tongue twice because I have The Social Network, but I also have Baby Driver.
That's my baby.
And sometimes I wonder why I cry myself to sleep. But on there as well, under those two, I have Dunkirk, Whiplash, and Mad Max.
I have The Social Network. I have Dunkirk. I have Whiplash, Mad Max Fury Road, and Drive.
Oh,
good
hey, whoa.
pick,
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a solid
pick.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. We got we got some comments. We've got Uncut Gems was thrown in there.
Yep.
No, that's 100%.
So-
fair. Yeah.
Fair enough. Say what you want about The Last Jedi, but the cinematography and the effects are amazing.
Hell
Hard
yes.
yes.
absolutely.
Agreed. I love the cinematography
Yeah.
of that movie. But
Albert mentioned The Jungle Book visual effects.
Yes.
yeah.
Incredible
yep,
work.
definitely.
He also asked if would you qualify Spider-Verse for cinematography, but
Because the camera
camera work
works
in it is
awesome,
also-
technically.
Interesting. Yeah. it's a
because
tough
I would
one.
agree. There are some shots in there that are
It's one of the most revolutionary animated films like ever made. Like
Yeah.
it's genuinely incredible how that movie
Mm.
looks. The depth of frame and all those shots is amazing. So yeah, why not?
I'd count it. I definitely would. It just missed out on mine because Roger Deakins decided to have a decade.
Speaking of
That's-
Roger Deakins and animation, do you know he did the DP on Rango?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did,
Yep. All right. Guys, is there anything like major you just want to mention real quick about this decade and like anything that really killed you to miss out?
Oh,
I mean, it's tough because there were a couple times on my list when I wanted to give the Nice Guys nomination for things. Like I almost put
Hilarious.
Gosling in there and I wanted to put cinematography in there, and screenplay kind of was in the conversation for me as well. It's just one of those movies that really got overlooked by a lot of people this decade and had a lot of really good things going for it.
yeah.
I had a tough time with a lot of movies. I mean, I loved The Shape of Water, but it wasn't on my list as much as I like wanted it to be. I, Tonya wasn't on my list as much as it probably should have been, but like it's just so tough. It's so tough.
I definitely had struggles with best supporting actor, but I'm not gonna lie, the hardest one I had, and I love documentaries, so it was really hard for me to whittle it down to 5 because unless it's an awful documentary, I always have some sort of like positive reaction to it. So like things like Icarus, I wanted on there so bad, but man, that was a tough one to. And obviously, I don't understand what sound editing, sound mixing is. So I was just like, "Wouldn't this sound good?"
I had a really tough time with Inside Llewyn Davis because I love that movie and it just didn't make it just missed out on my list.
Researching all of this stuff, that movie pops up so much,
so
and it is so good. But
Oscar Isaac kills it in that movie. Adam Driver's hilarious.
Yes, everyone
movie.
forgets that Justin Timberlake's
so good too. That movie missed out on a couple of different categories for me. And you're right. You do the research for this decade, and you're just like.
Yeah,
but it's 10 years. It's a decade's worth of movies to pick up.
What about you?
I guess, look, there were some ones that just missed out on me for cinematography. Obviously, I wanted Skyfall really badly in there. Other movies that I wasn't able to include just because I just didn't have the space was stuff like Perks of Being a Wallflower, Warrior, films like that where I just really wanted to be able to include them, but I couldn't fit them because I wanted to talk about all these other incredible performances and how amazing Social Network and Arrival are. Yeah. So clearly, and Mad Max. Yeah. So,
I mean, you had it on your list a few times, but Rush definitely missed out on my list when I wanted to put it there. But I mean, because we, Jacob and I had wrote out individual movie lists for every year. We have 2010, we have our list to look back on and just try to go through these lists. God damn it. There's just
so many memories.
Oh,
definitely.
But guys, I think this was a pretty successful attempt at live streaming. But I mean, someone mentioned Short Term 12.
Oh, I still have not seen that.
That movie is who whoever mentioned it, you're fantastic.
Albert, you're the best.
Albert's the best.
Albert, you rock. Because that movie is so criminally underlooked. No one knows what it is. But I know Brie Larson's fantastic in Room, but her career started with Short Term 12, in my opinion, because she's that good. And Lakeith Stanfield, introduction to him.
Rami Malek's
yeah, it's huge.
So many people are in that movie. I do want to mention the Stanfield. He has had a really great decade. Really great. Someone else that just missed out on my list for a lot of movies was Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, she's killed it.
She's killed it this decade.
Did any of us mention a Jessica Chastain performance?
No.
There's a few on.
She was.
Because I remember seeing Tree of Life from the beginning of the decade and thinking, oh my God, this is an actress. And everything she's done since then.
She only just missed out for Zero Dark 30.
Yeah,
I really wanted to put her in for Zero Dark 30. I just didn't have the space.
To me, she's the reason that Molly's Game works as a movie. So I was real close with that one as well, just because she kills it in that movie.
Greta Gerwig had a great decade too.
After that transition into directing, for sure.
Definitely.
We got a mention of Inside Out for Best Animated Feature, Gone Girl for editing, which
Gone Girl is very well edited. Yeah,
it's a great movie.
That's something the Academy got wrong, snubbing Gone Girl.
Yeah. See, it's funny. We talk about how I didn't want to put 3 Roger Deakins movies in. It was Kirk Baxter, and I had Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Social Network. I wasn't about to put 3 of his films on there. So
Fincher just knows his cinema, and because Fincher obviously knows so much technically as well. It's like 2 masterminds working together.
Yeah, but
we mentioned the Three Amigos, did we? We had Guillermo, Alejandro, and Alfonso Cuarón.
Don't think any of us had Alejandro.
Revenant we had for makeup and stuff. So not necessarily Alejandro, but
and Alfonso, I had
Alfonso for Roma.
Oh, okay, right, cool. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm definitely glad that Alfonso Cuarón has been getting Academy love. Roma just wasn't my favorite movie of his personally, but guys,
we got through it.
How's that? We should treat ourselves to something. Let's go for ice cream or something.
Yes.
Is that what people do?
Yeah. Let's go be adults.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I want to thank everyone who tuned into this live stream and who commented, because it's been so much fun getting to talk to you guys about this stuff. It's really cool to actually be able to look back on a full decade, because this is really the first full decade that people our age can look back on and really know the full decade of movies as something personal that we've experienced. And I do think that as I continue to catch up with movies I've missed from the decade, my list is only just going to get worse. Because there's so many movies I missed over the last 10 years that
Oh, yeah.
I know are great movies. And guys, what a time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What a time.
Join us in 10 years when we do this exact same thing again for this decade, having seen all the movies and regret everything.
Gives me
Absolutely.
10 years to figure out the difference between sound mixing and sound editing. So I appreciate that. I do need that time.
I want to thank my guests, as always, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Because it was a lot of fun, and it keeps us from having to just keep our lists to 20 picks between the two of us. We really get to explore a lot more films that way.
I was going to say, in 10 years, we'll be talking about the next Joker.
Please, God, no.
Timothy Chalamet.
Call me by your Joker. How good would that be?
Someone asked if we're going to do a Century Awards show.
Jesus Christ.
God. Oh,
There's only so many hours in the day, man.
Let's be real. We're not getting to 2100. Like, let's be real here.
Medical science, we don't know this yet.
I'm more meaning as a planet.
Well, on that note, before we just go completely off the rails, like we have a tendency to do most of the time, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. All of our links are down in the description if you want to find us on social media, if you want to see our Letterboxd accounts to see what movies we've been watching, what our most anticipated movies are. We are going to do a show at some point of what our anticipated movies are for the year, because it's going to be quite a year. And with that being said, thank you, Jacob, as always, for joining me and for setting up our studio that we're able to do this, because it's been, other than the first 2 minutes, it was a very good success. So with that, I want to say thank you to you guys once again. You guys are so supportive with all the new stuff we try on this channel, and it really means a lot to us. And until next time, I hope you guys have a happy new year.